Hey guys, Mike here from Panther Hollow Sporting Optics. Oh, this video right here, hope it finds you well, okay? And I hope you're not an orange juice drinker, because if you are, you might get mad. And if that's the case, you're an Arken, big Arken fan, or you're a fan of Rex or Mountain Mullets or whoever, I'm going to be talking about those guys. And if you don't like that, then don't watch my video. And I'm going to give you time to make your decision here, and then we're going to go on with the video. Okay, so if you're still with me, you want to know what I'm getting ready to show you. I have built a reputation on honesty. My channel is honest, I am honest, and the guys that I deal with in the scope industry, the ones that I have in my shop, the ones that I sell, are dealers or scope salespeople or manufacturers that don't care if I'm telling the people of my channel what I'm finding about product, okay? I don't do this to be detrimental to product, okay? I don't. I do this to educate you, okay? Now then, Rex, Tiberius Rex, okay? I'm going to use a term he uses all the time. This is fact, not feeling, okay? Mountain Mullets has recently done a video where he shot the 7-35 in a match, which that's kudos to that guy. That's awesome, and he used it in a match, and he had several hits, and that's awesome. But I guarantee you there's stuff downrange he was missing. Some of those misses could have been hits because he was missing some reads as far as atmospheric stuff goes, as far as wind goes. Okay, being able to see your trace. Seeing your splash and seeing your trace are two different things, okay? Paramount Tactical is another one. Compares, you know, the Night Force to the EP5 down here, saying that it's as good a scope, blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm going to tell you it's not. The build quality is not there, okay? You can look inside a scope internally, turn it upside down, and look through the bell of it right here with a flashlight, and you can see how well built it is, okay? Now then, I'm going to kind of show you some of that stuff. I'm going to do something that no other YouTuber is doing, okay? There's people that do custom guns and do this and do that, and that is all great. But there is no one that's doing what I'm getting ready to show you, okay? Now, first off, you got to kind of know what you're talking about. And that's why I constantly say that these guys here are not in the same league as these guys over here. They're not, okay? Let's go through these real quick. Night Force Attacker, Leopold, Mark V. We have a Ares ETR, possibly one of the best Chinese scopes being produced, period, right here. Ares ETR. We have an Element Titan, another really, really good scope, okay? We have a Crimson Trace on here. Now, there's some people that like these, some people don't. Now, this one right here, a buddy of mine brought over, and it's a little 16 power, and I looked through it, and I was very, very, very surprised on how clean the lenses are inside. And you're going to understand what I'm talking about here in a little bit. And then we got the Arkens. We got the EP5. This is the, EP5 525, EP5 7-35. This guy is one of the special scopes right here. I like this one. This is the EP4. And then we have the SH4 Gen 2. And then we have the Dominator, okay, the red line. That dominates this class down here easily. And I don't mean by a little bit. I mean by a lot. And they're close to the same price. They're a little bit more money, but not a lot more money. Let's talk about this scope right here, for example. This is the Arken EP4, okay? This is a 6-24. Make sure that's right. Yep, 6-24. This is what built Arken reputation, in my mind. This is one of the very first scopes I purchased. It's had 4 owners. It's had I don't know how many owners, 4 or 5. Anyways, the last guy that had it, I bought it back from him because I wanted it. This scope here was one of the very first ones I bought, and I wanted it back because it is a great scope. You can look at the internals on this scope, and you can see how well built it is and how clean it is. This is a great scope. The reason, I don't know the reason why they decided to step away from the lock rings and start using more glue inside the optics. I do know why. It was money. It was money. That's why. They wanted to save a little bit more money or make a little bit more money. So the other scopes down here aren't as well built as this one right here. They're not. They're simply not. So you can stick that in your cap and do whatever you want to with it, because that's a fact. That's a fact. These scopes here are not as built as well as this one right here. These scopes used to be hand assembled, okay, and tested at Arken. And guess what? They're not anymore. They're lot tested. That means like every 1 out of 100, or I don't know what the number is, but it's 1 out of a certain amount is tested. That's why there's people out there that are dissatisfied with some of the product they've been getting. It is what it is, okay? Now then, let's talk about Erector sets for a second here. There are basically three types of Erector sets. There's the spring type of Erector set, which is right here. This is the spring, okay? That's your recoil spring. That pushes against the Erector, and that allows that thing to move up and down, left and right. Keeps pressure on it, okay? There's left ones and there's right ones, and then there's leaf spring Erectors. The Erector's like this, and there's a leaf spring sitting under here, and it keeps tension on the fingers that go against the elevation and windage, and it pushes that thing up and down, left and right. There's also a C-shape spring that's like this, that's your Erector sits on top of. Okay, I'm going to show you a picture in a second. I like to use my fingers. It's like a pictogram. And it moves up and down on the C, and it floats in there like so. So those are the different types of springs in the Erectors. Now, do you believe that these Erectors and these guys right here are proprietary to Arken? The answer is no. That Erector set is available from any Chinese, anybody that wants to make a scope. $100,000, you can get some scopes made. It's an investment, it is, but you can come up with a design. Well, there's actually copycats out there right now of Arkens, and there's some break-off companies that I think are sister to Arken. A scope called the One, I think, is very, very similar, spooky similar to the Arken, except it's got a better reticle in it. I like the reticle better. This is why I like the Redline so well. The Redline has a very usable reticle. This reticle in here is super clean. It's easy to use, okay? You guys can check Redline out. Go to redline.com, check them out. I have a couple of these scopes, and I've had really, really good luck with them. The tracking is better than these guys down here. It is. I had them put it on coal meter. I know the tracking is better on this scope. Okay, I know that for a fact. I know that this 7-35 has a canted reticle in it. Okay, and you don't see it until you get way down. Like this is an ELR scope. The reticle's canted to the right. Okay, by almost 1.5 mil at the bottom, and you don't see that until you run it all the way down. I know it was absolutely perfect when we put it in the coal meter. We double checked everything, and I was freaking aggravated. So I'm to see what I can do about getting another 7-35, because that one, I bought that one. I traded for that one. I didn't buy it, I traded for it. A lot of these scopes here I've traded for, except for the Athlons and the Titan and this guy right here, the Redline. So long story short, there are better scopes out there. There's a guy out there that's making Precision Rifle Network. I think his name's Joel. I shot with Joel at an F-class match. Okay? He was trying his hand at it. Anyways, good old Joel is saying that there's not a better scope under $1,000 that can compete with Arken. That's not true. Not even close to being true. This scope right here is under $1,000. It blows Arken out of the water. This red line does. Okay. This scope, yeah, it's a little over $1,000 Aries ETR, but you can find them used for less than that, and it absolutely blows Arken out of the water. Absolutely does. I would rather have sucky turrets and better glass than really good turrets and sucky glass. I'll put it to you that way, okay? I'd rather have a build quality that I can trust, okay? I actually took one of these scopes. I actually returned one. So this one is a new scope. I dropped it out of a tree. Totally my fault. I was deer hunting with it. You can watch my deer hunting video. That scope in that video, I dropped 15 feet out of a tree, and it landed on the scope. I still took it to another farm and smoked a doe at 320 or 340 yards or whatever. It was on my 280 then. But long story short, I still smoked a doe, and I noticed that there was a little cloudiness in it, and I thought, well, there's maybe something wrong with it, because I don't have a colorimeter, have anything like that. I was just seeing through my eye what I was seeing. I was like, oh, there's something wrong. Well, I sent it back, and that scope is actually going to go through a destruction test. One of the lenses turned a little bit, which that happens when you drop them 15 feet out of a tree with an 11-pound rifle on top of them. You know, something's going to break. You can say these won't break. Well, that's bullshit, because this scope here is heavier built. I know it's heavier built, okay? And on top of that, if I call Redline, I get a hold of a person on the phone, and that's how I got it replaced. I got a hold of a person. I don't have to send an email. These guys right here, with the exception of Element. Element's kind of hard to get a hold of. Athlon, super easy. Freaking Leopold and Night Force are all. I talked to their customer service guys on the phone on the way to a job last week, and was asking if they wanted to be on a video, and they declined. But guess who said they would be on a video? Vortex. Vortex said they would take a customer phone call on video whenever I wanted to do it. That kind of speaks volumes to me about Vortex. Vortex has, unbelievable customer service, and anybody that's ever dealt with knows that. Now, they do have trouble with some of their lower end scopes. Okay, I've had some trouble with their lower end scopes, but I've never had a problem with their razors, the razor scopes. The razor line they're just nice. They're really nice. The Razor Gen 2 I had for a long time. I had a Razor Gen 3. I had an opportunity to sell it. The Theos, I chose to keep the Theos over the Razor, just because I liked the turrets on the Theos a little bit better. Now, the glass and stuff was super comparable. Everything, the only thing I liked about the Theos is I didn't have to have any kind of tool to reset the zero. Now, that does come with a little cliche. When you pop that turret off there and you change it, you only get 1.5 rotations or so, and you're done. Where when you set the zero stop on the Razor, you get the full rotation up and down of what you've got left, okay? Another thing I want to talk about zero stops real quick before we get into the actual analyzation of the glass. The zero stop on this guy, I've done a video already, and I showed you how freaking massive the zero stop is on this. The piece of brass they put in there with the great big Allen key screws. Very, very nice zero stop here. More reliable than the zero stops down here. Absolutely more reliable. Okay, I've had the actual turrets come loose here. You need to put Loctites on these guys, and the screw in this one, guess what? It's missing. Yeah, it's gone. My EP4. It is just a wall hanger right now. I don't use it on anything. I like it because that was the first one I bought, okay? So, let's get to the nuts and bolts of this video. We're going to be looking up the skirts of these ladies. We're going to look through here, okay? And we're going to be looking at the build quality inside. And then we're going to take the light and we're going to shine through here, and we're going to see how much dirt's in there. Yeah. Did you hear what I said? Dirt. How much dirt is inside the scope? Nobody else is going to show you this, guys. Nobody else is going to show you this. And I'm not going to be a hero for doing this video. I'll tell you that straight up. I'm not making friends in the optical world by doing this video. Okay, I'm doing this video for you guys. This is for my viewers, the guys that have joined my channel. I don't have Patreon or anything like that. Actually, I probably should have to show you what I'm going to show you, because this is something nobody else does, okay? And I don't know why. We have custom gun builders out there. They're showing you tricks in this on the that. They show you whatever. We talk about tuners. We talk about this. We talk about that. But when it comes to scopes, it's like a closed box, and nobody wants to step outside that box and talk about what really goes on. Well, that's what we're going to do, okay? We're going to talk about that a little bit. I had to get educated on scopes. And how did I do that? Well, I have a friend that is a QC guy for a scope manufacturer. And I've also got several friends that build scopes. That's what they do. They build scopes. Then I've got guys that actually own scope companies that I talk to that don't mind me sharing information, because they want to be transparent about what you're buying. Okay, transparency. So let's dive in here. Let's take a look at this. And let's not mix words here, okay? I don't have anything against Arken, other than the people that are making these dumbass videos saying that these things are built as good as these, and they absolutely are not. This guy right here is built like a tank, like an absolute tank, and has better tracking and better glass than these guys right here, for under $1,000. Was it Precision Rifle Network, Joel? That's the truth. Under $1,000, better glass, better zero stop, and a better built scope. Period. I'm going to show you that. Stand by. Okay, guys. I tried a video this way, and you can't do it. So I'm going to tell you what I see. The scope right here, there's dust and debris down in there, and you can see it. If you look through this way, you'll notice that there's only one locking ring in there. Okay, and that's by the Erector. Well, no, it's got a pretty good eye pupil too. But there's one locking ring in there, and the other lenses are glued in. This here, looks to be held together with two rings that are screwed in. But you can definitely see the Erector down there, and you can see the brass ring around the Erector. Now you can do this at home. It's simple to do. All I'm doing is looking through here, and I'm moving this so I can see that plunger, and I can see the brass around the Erector, which tells me that's a more inexpensive Erector. Okay. I can also see dust and debris in there. You go this way, and that looks like it's got a fingerprint on it. Hang on a second here, let me. Brand new scope. Okay guys, so this one has a little bit of a fingerprint on it. It's not on the exterior, that's on the interior part of the scope, this one right here. Let's switch scopes here. This is an EP5, okay? And we're going to look at a Leopold. Several locking rings in here. 3 locking rings. This scope is super clean on the inside. Okay guys, this is a Leupold Mark V. We're looking at the inside of the scope. We got nice big locking rings in there. We have no smudges, no marks, no dust. A very nice built Erector in there. I do not see any brass. I'll take this off. It's got a capped windage turret. Guys, this is a very, very, very well built scope. And yeah, for the price, absolutely. The locking ring up here is slotted. So this scope is actually, this is a serviceable scope. It's made to be worked on if it needs to be worked on. Very, very nice scope. Okay, wouldn't expect anything less from Leupold, to be honest with you. Great scope. So let's look at another one real quick. Let's look at the Element Titan. There's no need to run through all of them. You guys can do this, like I said, you can do this at home. It's not hard. It's not hard at all. Very serviceable scope. Locking ring up here. 1, 2, 3 locking rings in there. Nice and clean inside. I've used this scope quite a bit, so it does have a few little, the lenses were a little dirty, but there's nothing inside that I can see. No dust or debris inside. It's nice and clean. Guys, just like that Arken, I seen that fingerprint. You'll be able to see fingerprints on the internal lenses if you do this. Do what I'm telling you to do here. There should not be fingerprints on the internal lenses. Let's look at an Aries ETR. Now this Aries has got a bunch of miles on it. Let's clean the lens out here. Got water on it. Water, dried water, droplets. Okay. Very, very well built inside. What I can see. Just turn it down. Looks like some high power. Now you guys want to do this on low power. You don't want to do it on its highest power. You won't be able to see the fingerprints and stuff because you'll zoom past them. Okay, there is a little bit of dirt inside this one, I can see. Not a whole lot, but there is a little bit. Most of your Chinese scopes are going to have a little bit of that. They just are. Very nice Erector in this thing. Very nice Erector in this thing. A little bit of dirt internally. You see just ever so slightly a few specks in there. And that's pretty common with Chinese scopes. You're going to see some of that, okay? Very nice scope for the money though. A really nice scope. This thing here has several rounds on it. I've used it a bunch, okay? Let's look at the EP4. Okay, this is an older scope. Old EP4, one of my favorites. I don't know why they quit making them. on why they quit building them this way. Okay, we got a locking ring up top. 1, 2 internal locking rings. This Erector set looks really nice. Let's look through here and see if we can see any dirt. Okay, let's turn that on its lowest power there. Guys, you gotta have it on its lowest power to see. Oh yeah, let me make sure that's not on the outside. Yeah, it's on the inside. Got fingerprints all around the edges of this one. All around the edges. That sucks, I didn't even know that. Guys, I haven't been doing this, like I've just recently learned how to do this because I want to educate myself about the internals on these things and what they look like and how they work, because this is fact, not feeling. Fact, not feeling, okay? One more scope here, we're going to call it quits. My battery's getting low. Okay, this scope here, no locking ring at the top. Got 2 locking rings on top of each other right there. I can see dirt and debris already in this. This is a 7 to 35. I see more of the same thing, guys. I see dirt. I don't see any fingerprints on this one, but I do see dirt inside. Guys, again, this is something you can do on your own at home. It's not hard. You see how I'm doing it? You just need a flashlight and make sure your scope's on its lowest power. And you can look through here and you can see the debris and stuff on the inside. Now go through on this side, you can kind of see the build quality of the scope. All right, stand by. Okay guys, I had to swap cameras there. My other camera ran out of battery, so I apologize. So we're going to end the video here. Now I guarantee you know more now than you did yesterday. I guarantee it. There's nobody else doing these kinds of videos about scopes. I showed you the difference. I told you the difference. I didn't show you. I told you, because it's almost impossible to video that way. Now, if I had a collimeter, I could show you the tracking issues that we see now. Don't get me wrong. These have good tracking, but the red line is better. I've looked at the red line. I've looked inside the red line. It is super clean. It is built very, very well. I'm going to try to work on getting some video so I can show you what it looks like in here. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that because of the reflection of the flashlight on the camera lens. It just doesn't work very well. But like I said, this is something you can do at home. Take it, put it in a vise like I did, turn it upside down, look at it, look through it both ways. Make sure your scope's on its lowest setting. You can kind of see what's going on in there. Turn your Erector, okay, turn it so you can see if they're brass fingers or if they're steel or whatever's going on in there, okay? You also know by looking at the side of the scope which one it has. Does it have just a recoil spring in it, which is not a bad setup, okay? Or is it a leaf spring setup? And it won't have that little bump there. There would be no bump in it like this one right here. There's no bump in it. So this has a different Erector set, probably a higher quality Erector set than these guys down here. It's a higher quality scope, okay? You look at this guy right here. There's no bump in it. There's a little deal right here. I don't know if that's a spring or not. I would probably guess that is the recoil spring in there. So just kind of understand how these things are built. There's no bump on this or whatever. So this could be a C style spring or it could be a leaf spring, okay? We just have to look in there and see. You can kind of see that if the elevation will go enough so you can see underneath it and see what's going on. Again, guys, this is something you do at home. I told you and told you and told you that these scopes down here are higher quality. They're better built. They're more robust. This one right here is the king of the hill of this category down here. Easily king of the hill. Better glass, better tracking. Okay, it's built heavier. It's made to be serviced. It's made to be worked on. It's that plain and simple. So, anyways, guys, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. We'll have some content, more content coming out like this. Like I said, I'm friends with a guy that has his own channel. His channel is USCA. You might want to check that channel out because he is going to be doing he actually owns a coil meter, and he's going to be doing some tracking tests and stuff on different scopes. And we're going to be reporting back to each other. I'm going to be sending him stuff. He's going to be sending me stuff. We're going to get the bottom of the truth of this stuff. Okay, so you guys and the public are more educated than what you are now. That's the whole point of videos, is to educate you, the consumer. Okay, like me, I've invested all this money. Okay, maybe I can save you $1, and you don't have to do that. That's my goal. You come to a guy like me, I can tell you what scopes are what. And I'm going to get better and better at it, just like putting guns together. I'm going to get better and better. I've been shooting for a long time. None of that really makes any difference. We're talking about scopes. So, long story short, if you like this content, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Leave a comment at the bottom. Tell me what you think about what I showed you. Okay? Check yours at home. Let me know what yours at home looks like. You find a fingerprint on it? Okay? Did you see some dust inside? Did you see something you don't like? Can you tell if it's got the lenses are glued in or if they've got locking rings in them? Okay? Can you tell me what kind of Erector set it has? Is it brass or is it steel? Pretty easy to tell. Anyways, we'll see you in the next video.